Welcome back, friends. In this episode, we move north to Chiang Rai and see a couple very impressive temples.
We also visit the Black House, the estate of one of Thailand's famous artists, and we meet some animal friends at Singha Park. Jump in and let's go.
We had a pretty short, comfortable bus ride from Chiang Mai to Chiang Rai, which is about 120 miles or so. And Chiang Rai is kind of famous for some of its interesting temples. We weren't quite templed out yet, so we had to do a few more. As well, Chiang Rai was en route towards our next stop, which is Laos. So this will end our time in northern Thailand and we will start a new country.
One of our first stops here was called the White Temple, and this is actually a very new temple compared to some of them that we've seen. It began construction just in 1997. And it's a mix of traditional Buddhist architecture and more contemporary styles. The white color symbolizes purity, but there are parts of it that represent the dark elements of human nature. Like as you first cross the bridge here, you have arms reaching up to you, and those symbolize unrestrained desire and greed. And the idea is that by crossing the bridge, you leave these desires behind and you move towards enlightenment. Now, the building technique, I couldn't tell if this was carved or how they had made this really ornate stuff on the outside, but it actually involves white cement and then embedding little pieces of mirror into the surface to give it that dazzling effect. Also here they had a few other sort of attractions on this little campus. They had a cave of art, which was fairly new, with some contemporary pieces like Ninja Turtles and things like this, some pop culture references, which were a little different. And they also had, you could purchase a Bodhi leaf, and there were thousands upon thousands of these hanging there. You buy this and put your wishes on it and then could hang it up. So we partook in that as well.
The Blue Temple is an even newer temple, I think built around the early 2000s. And it was actually designed by a local artist who kind of took note from the White Temple and took some ideas from that. It's a very modern temple, very, very beautiful. The blue construction symbolizes purity, wisdom, lack of materialism. There's no photos allowed inside, but inside was really neat as well. And then some kind of reference to pop culture a bit inside, which was a bit different. I think a little bit to maybe show that, you know, temples can also be for the new generation and they don't have to be just fancy gold. They can have a mix of everything. So it was pretty neat to see, and I'm glad we checked it out.
Then it was off to an estate known as the Black House. Actually, it's quite a number of buildings on this acreage, and this belonged to a famous Thai artist who passed away about 10 years ago. And it's a collection of his artworks, works from other artists, and collections of things like horns and seashells and alligator skins. So just the architecture here, the artwork itself, a very interesting stop as well.
We had about 2 full days in Chiang Rai, and this isn't maybe as popular thing to do, but we decided to get out of the city and check out a nearby park. It's called Singha Park. It seems like this is maybe a big park for events. They have a big kind of event venue space. They host a big music concert here, but it's just a nice day out. We rented a golf cart. That's how we got around the park, because it's fairly large. One of the cool things to see here is the tea plantation. So that was really neat. We also saw lots of flowers and different plants throughout the different sections of the park.
It was also our first time seeing rubber trees, and these were actually tapped to extract the latex and make natural rubber. So kind of neat to see those. I'd read about them, but I'd never actually seen them before. And they had a petting zoo at one corner of the park. You did have to be a little bit mindful of which animals you chose to pet. Some, perhaps not.
south of the park is, of course, Singha is a national beer, and their emblem is the lion, and so we had to get our picture with the big lion.
Next up, it was a short bus ride up to Chiang Kong, which there's not a lot to see in Chiang Kong, to be honest. Although I did learn that it is apparently the best destination. Here we've been running around for months trying to find great spots. We could have just come straight to Chiang Kong. But the real reason you end up here, or most folks do if you're a tourist, is this is where you will catch a slow boat just across the river in Laos and head down the Mekong. So it caters to tourists like us.
We have packed a lot in the last few episodes. Next episode will be a little bit different. As the name implies, the slow boat is a slow way to travel, so come join us on the river and enjoy the views. See you next time.